Okay. Okay, focus. Hey guys! Welcome to the next installment of the introduction series on the voice called Voice Matters. I'm so glad you joined me, but I forgot to say who I am, and I really want to do that today. My name is Johan Bester. I am a vocal coach, a specialist choir conductor who also composes and arranges for choirs, and a music educator from Johannesburg, South Africa. And I'm so glad that you joined me for today's episode, where we are going to talk about a whole different aspect of speaking and singing. My goal with these videos is that anyone who loves to sing, from shower singers to professional singers to choir singers, any age group, can really benefit from these teachings. And I think the examples that I give, and I think the content and the way that I present it really is going to be beneficial. So if you find this helpful and you haven't seen the first 3 episodes, there is a link below the video so you can go and catch up. So far, we had a chat about just how amazing the human voice is, what its capabilities are, how we've just been taking it for granted all our life, and how we now want to start to have a thought process about our voice, an awareness, listening, feeling, choosing to express in a different way. And then we talked about the basic functionality of the voice. Just where does the sound actually come from? Which muscles are involved? And how easy it is to just exhale and speak or sing. And then in episode 3, we started with a bit more nitty-gritty stuff. We talked about the 7 foundational vowels. Meow. Right? Well, that will only make sense if you watch that episode. Now today, I want to talk about the absolute underdogs in the vocal world. The consonants. You know, sounds like k, p, t, z, o, g. Obviously, vowels are important because the vowels are in the part of the words that carry. So that is the part of a word that I can make longer. I can say hello. It's a O, right? Or that's the part of a word that we sing on. Never enough. It's the vowel. So we must know about the vowels. We must understand. We must know where they resonate. We must understand which shape we need, where our tongue is, etc. Video 2, right? So it's very important. But the poor consonants. Nobody talks about it. And we really should, because when you think about it, it is the consonants, all those other sounds, that most of the time carries the actual emotive content of the word. The phrase, the sentence, the message, the effectiveness of it actually lies in the consonants. So let me do a simple example to try and show you what I'm talking about. Let's say one of my kids had a friend over and they treated my child really badly, and I want them to get out of my house, but I'm really angry. So I can say that sentence in 2 very different ways. The first one is I can put a lot of energy, which is airflow, right, onto the vowels. So what does that mean? That means it's going to be really loud. So it'll sound like this. Yes! Sorry, didn't mean to scare you there. Or I could put a lot of airflow on the consonants in that sentence and not put a lot of energy onto the vowels. So it's not going to be that loud. Get out of my house. Yeah? Which one of the 2 do you think communicated my sentiment better? Okay, so let's take a totally different kind of sentence, different kind of sentiment. Let's take the sentence, I love her so much. Okay, so again, I can say it in two different ways. Firstly, I can put a lot of energy, which is what? Breath, airflow, onto the vowels. And it'll be very loud, and it'll sound like this. I love you so much! Or I can put all my energy, breath, air energy, on the consonants. I love her so much. Right, so the l and the s and the m and the ch, it makes what I want to say come across much, much stronger. It's interesting. So the message, the content, the emotion of what I'm trying to say comes out much stronger when I use my consonants. So, just like with the basic functionality of our voice, where the sound comes from, just like what are the shapes of my vowels, what do they sound like, what do they feel like, same with consonants. I need knowledge, information, and a thought process. I need information about how consonants work, what makes them the way they are, and how I can use them more effectively. So basically, we have to understand that there are two main types of consonants for the purpose of this discussion, for this teaching. That is voiced consonants and unvoiced consonants. So the easy way to find out whether a consonant is a voiced or unvoiced is to try and figure out, are my vocal folds actually engaged? In other words, is there a recognizable pitch? That's how I know. For instance, voiced consonants can be... So an example of voiced consonants is like z, l, k, d. So the way to check, like I said, is let's see if I can sing a song on this consonant and you can recognize it. D, 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 z. Of course, it's Twinkle Twinkle. Did you know that Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, wrote that tune actually? But that's for another day. So my vocal folds were engaged. They were making a sound, and I could change the pitch because they are engaged. Now let's try the same with unvoiced consonants and see if we have the same result. S, 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 s. T, 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 t. Right? I mean, that's a really silly example, I know, but it proves my point really, really easily. A s has no pitch. So you could hear the rhythm of the individual s, 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 or whatever unvoiced consonants I used. You can hear the rhythm, so you might go, hey, that feels like twinkle, twinkle. But there was no pitch, right? Very simple way to work out, is the consonant voiced or unvoiced? Big deal, I hear you say. But actually it is a big deal because there is another way in which these two types of consonants are very different. And that is how to emphasize them. That's what we're going to look at now. How do I emphasize a s more as opposed to a z? Z, s. They are similar in some way, like the shape is similar. My tongue, my shape is same position, same place, but the one has a voice and the other one doesn't. But the way I go about it to emphasize the voiced and the unvoiced one is quite different. Technically, of course, how we do this, and now we're getting to the thought process part, right? It's with breath, obviously. Whether I'm trying to emphasize the voiced or the unvoiced, it's going to take breath. But here's the big difference. With a voiced consonant, in other words, my voice is engaged, there's a pitch, right? I need to spend more time on that consonant to emphasize it, to make it more clear, to make it stand out. So I need to spend more air and time on that consonant. I'll demonstrate in a minute. Whereas with unvoiced consonants, I just need to push more air into the sound of that consonant. I know it sounds a bit confusing, but I'm going to demonstrate it now. Let's take another sentence so that I can explain, do an example for you. I'm going to take the sentence, I'm so sick and tired of fighting and fighting every single day. Right, let's say I want to say that. Now, some of the consonants are unvoiced, so they need more breath. Like S. I'm so sick and tired of fighting and fighting every single day. Right? F, S, T. All those unvoiced consonants. The way to make them carry their emotion better is S, T, P. A lot of energy on them. A lot of breath onto those consonants. Then, if I wanted to use a sentence where there are many more voiced consonants that I want to accentuate, I need to spend more time on them. So not push more air onto them, but spend more time. Example, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome my very good friend and an excellent actor, Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson and I aren't really good friends. And he's not really. So, from a technical point of view, what is it all about? The airflow onto or through my consonants. Now let me do an example in a song. I'm going to sing the opening lines of the beautiful Never Enough from The Greatest Showman. It's very low, so for most people that's very low when they sing it. So how to make sure people can hear your words and feel the emotions. I'm going to do it in two different ways. Again, the first time, I'm not going to put a lot of extra attention, airflow, air energy onto my consonants. And then the second time, I will exaggerate it a little bit so you can hear the difference. I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. Alright, I know I was exaggerating, but I want to make the point. Now I'm going to try and really emphasize the airflow onto and through my consonants. I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. Right? Very clear that in the second one, the listener will lean in because they can hear every single sound, not just the vowels, not just the ho of hold, but hold my breath, breath. Voice consonants, spend some time on them. Very simple illustration. So, in conclusion, let me say this. Many, I would say most, singers, even vocal coaches, put way more emphasis on their vowels. And we should put emphasis on our vowels, but not to the extent that we neglect our consonants. Like I explained it to you in this episode, it actually is the consonants that convey the emotion, that communicate, that make you feel what the words are actually saying. In most cases, it's all about the consonants. Thanks for spending the time with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy talking about this stuff to people like you who actually want to improve the use of your voice. If you enjoyed it, please make that like button blue. And this is Johan Vester saying, take care of yourself and always remember that your voice matters.